What is up, bros and broads? Welcome on back to the Millennial Bro Kitchen. And what can I say, guys? I'm sorry. I told you we were back. But all we've made in the last couple of months was a smoothie. And that held me over for a couple weeks, but now I'm pretty hungry. So we're going to do something a little special today. This is the very first Beast Feast. Beast Feasts are the Millennial Bro Kitchen meals formulated to fuel them gains. And they consist of 3 parts: complex carbohydrate, a lean protein, and a nutrient-rich veggie. And we're going to keep it simple stupid today and roast up some sweet potatoes, broccoli, and some salmon. But this isn't just any salmon. This is Copper River Sockeye Salmon. I had to fight some bears up in Alaska for this stuff. So do yourself and your Finstagram a favor. Let's get cooking. Alright, so first thing you want to do is clean up these sweet potatoes. They're not quite as free as celery, but pretty cheap nonetheless. So just go ahead, take a peeler, get the skin off of them. What we're going to end up doing here is chopping these up into little cubes, getting some roasted sweet potatoes going. Alright, so through the magic cinematography, those should be all cleaned up. Now we got to get to dicing. I like to use a method here where I kind of make nice 2-3 inch chunks. Little sweet potato medallions, if you will. And then what you could do is take these medallions, chop them into about 4 or 6 pieces. This looks like going to be a 6-piecer. Just so you get nice little chunks like that. Hope some of y'all noticed this is a new knife. I've had a lot of feedback on my knives saying they couldn't even cut jello or something like that. So we went ahead, we got new knives. Check that out. Woo! Slice. Alright, so we're back at my massive oven here. And what we need to do, transfer all of our sweet potatoes. And what I did here was I sprayed this pan, obviously covered it with aluminum foil, but sprayed it with some olive oil as well because I'm very paranoid about things sticking. But once you get these on here, toss a little more olive oil. That's going to help color these up nice. Don't be bashful. And then I like to do some simple seasonings here. Some pepper. Go crazy, go wild. Some sea salt. Or, regular salt. Not by the sea. Cajun for a little kick. Then last, some Italian. This is kind of cheating. It's a bunch of seasonings in one. But it gives it, a real fresh, herby, you get that green flecks on it. It looks like you made real fancy sweet potatoes and you put some of this on. So after that, mix that all together, get that all coated. All right, and these take the longest to bake, anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. So we have our oven preheated at 400. We're gonna toss these in right away. And about every 15 minutes, you wanna pull these out, mix them all around. All right, and I guess while we're on this side of the kitchen, before I walk back to the other side, we can go ahead, start boiling some water. So put a big old pot of water on a boiler, crank the heat up, throw a cover on. We're gonna be using this to blanch the broccoli. This is pretty simple as well. I just got a couple small trees here. What you want to do, just kind of cut out the little broccoli sized trees that you want. I tend to maybe cut them in half, but go for little nugs about that size. So go ahead, process the celery and toss that to the side for now. We'll have that ready for when the water's boiling. All right, now for the star of the show. Copper River Sockeye Salmon. Look at the color on this. Unbelievable. And you notice, we chopped up all the vegetables first because we practice safe food prep in this kitchen. But now it's time for this fish. And my God, this color is unbelievable. And I typically do, a few more seasonings on my salmon, but we're going to do a very simple, just salt, pepper, olive oil on this. Really let the flavors of this beautiful fish through. First off, we're going to chop it down into just about, say 3 chunks here. Just so we can get, a little more consistent, even cooking across it. So start about here. It's a nice chunk. Look at that knife. Oh. Hey, maybe we'll do 4 chunks here. So do this one. And cut this guy. Leave that tail a little bit longer. All right. Look at those pieces. Beautiful. And then for the prep, what we're going to do is just hit this with some olive oil. Rub that into the fish. A little fish massage. All right, and then a little bit of salt, pepper. Just like that, those are seasoned. Water's boiling, the grass is green, birds are chirping, Quai's headed to the clippers. Let's go ahead and get this cover pulled off. And turn down the heat a little bit, toss the cover off to the side, don't burn yourself. You can leave this water kind of boiling, uncovered indefinitely. We just want it for right at the end. Blanching this broccoli is going to take only a minute or 2. So just leave this here. It'll be ready for us when we need it. And then also don't forget, pull your sweet potatoes. Make sure to stir those around. Oh, and these are looking pretty good. Say only maybe, probably 5-10 minutes left on these. Starting to get some good color. All right, and then toss those babies back in and we'll get this salmon tossed in. Crank up the heat on the oven just a tad, about 410, 420. And throw this salmon in there. We're going to cook it for about 6 to 8 minutes, and then we're going to broil it for a couple minutes. I think those sweet potatoes are just about ready to be pulled. Let's double check. All right, we'll let them hang out now. A little bit of a color on that guy. So we're going to leave these pulled. I'm going to wrap them up so that they don't get too cold. We kind of cooked them a little quicker than we should have today. Well, that's all right. Let's take a look at this salmon. Oh yeah, looking pretty good. Could use some color on top though. So that's when we're going to engage hyperdrive. Flip your oven on to broil. This is a very extreme setting. The top of the oven's just going to torch and make a nice glazy, crispy crust on top of that salmon. That salmon's just about done, so let's get the broccoli tossed in. Throw some salt into the water, make it a little saltwater bath. And then toss the broccoli in. And stir it with whatever's on hand. Here we got a spatula, check that out. Pretty neat. Let these stew in the boiling water for 2 minutes, let's say. All right, so I just pulled the salmon. Let's get this broccoli cooled off. It's going to be cooking the whole time you have it in this hot water. So what we want to do is drain it out of the hot water. Keep some cold water running. And then immediately put it into this bowl of ice cold water. And that's going to stop the cooking so you don't get mushy broccoli, you get cooked broccoli. Stir it around in there. It's going to stop the cooking instantly. Then you can go right back, drain them out. And I like leaving this just sitting in the bowl like this. That helps drain out any of the rest of the water. All right, so last step is cleaning this salmon up. We obviously cooked it with the skin on. So what you want to do is carefully kind of try and peel this up off. If it breaks apart, that's kind of fine. You can see the skin is still attached, so what all you have to do is here, either with a spatula or the back of a spoon, just kind of scrape that part off gently. You don't want to scrape any of the actual meat off. You can see this kind of slight discoloration on part of the skin as well, this darker part. That's what's going to make this this fillet taste fishy. It's going to remind you that this fish was still in the Copper River a couple hours ago, so try and scrape that part off too. That's going to make sure you have a nice, clean, Good tasting piece of salmon. Serve it all cleaned up like that. I had one piece cleaned up right before I shot this, and so you can see, final product. Beast feast, all plated up looking like that. That's gonna be all your vitamins, nutrients, proteins, carbs, all that good stuff to build up them gains. But hey, next week, I got another episode coming. It's one of my favorite recipes I've ever found. And let me just tell you guys, it's not as healthy as this. So get excited for that and enjoy this.